Welcome back, Pokemon trainers. Professor Chaz here, and the lab coat is on back order. Now, for this week's video, I'd like to sort of follow up on what I started doing last week when I was kind of showing off my journey through the Pokemon world and highlighting the Pokemon that I caught in every game, every generation leading up to today. What I'd like to actually do is show you some of these guys in a battle. Now, what I did last week, I actually kind of recorded that video twice because I wanted to sort of explain each of my Pokemon and, a little highlight about them, where they came from and stuff. Partway into it, when I was getting into the Sinnoh region Pokemon, I think it was, I realized this video is going to come close to an hour long. And I don't think anyone wants to sit through an hour long of me talking about my Pokemon when, for you viewers, there's like millions of other Pokemon out there, right? Like mine are special to me, but maybe they're not so unique to anyone watching the video. But what I can probably start doing as I do some online battles, I can, choose 6 of my Pokemon, give you a little insight about each of them, where they come from, what I have planned for their strategies and things like that, and just kind of, over time, highlight each of them that way. So, what I'm going to do is show you an online battle. Now, again, I don't have Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire, so I'm really outdated as far as official competition play goes, but I do still have Pokemon X, and I'll show you a battle of them in X today, and I'll show you 6 of the Pokemon, and if you saw any Pokemon from my previous video that you want to learn more about, or if you saw like an interesting moveset that they had, if you want to know more about it, leave me a comment down below. Let me know which Pokemon you want to see next time, and maybe I will put them into a team and do an online battle where I can highlight them. So, without further ado, let's choose 6 of my Pokemon, and let's get to the Wi-Fi. So here we have the premier team that I'm going to use in my first recorded online Wi-Fi battle, and let's take a look at these guys. Whoops. Okay, so we're going to start off with Gary the Gyarados. Because of the ability Intimidate, it's always good to get a nice stat effect off when you start the battle. And it's got Waterfall, Earthquake, Ice Fang, and Dragon Dance. I like to think it's kind of a standard Gyarados moveset here. I once battled a trainer at a Pokemon event, 6 versus 6, and I started with Gary. And I didn't expect that I was going to do that good because I'm not into the really in-depth stuff of IV breeding and natures and things like that. But once Gary set up with a Dragon Dance, he took out 5, almost all 6 of the opponent's Pokemon by himself. So Gary can hold his own. I have given him the Focus Sash just in case they get a electric attack off on the first move, because I usually set up with 1 Dragon Dance and then start going with the attacks. So if Gary does get hit with a super effective move, something that would one-shot him, the Focus Sash will keep him in play. And if it's an electric move, hopefully we're not going to get paralyzed in the process. Next in the team is my Marowak here, holding the Thick Club to, I think it doubles its attack power, and his attack is already 255, so that's actually quite good. And I taught him a lot of elemental punches here from Move Tutor in, it might have been Black 2 and White 2. I can't recall exactly, but it might have been even from an earlier set than that. It might have been back in the Sinnoh region, actually. But we got Bone Meringue for the stab, we got Fire Punch, Thunder Punch to cover some weaknesses, and Brick Break also covers weaknesses, and gets rid of those pesky light screens and reflects too. Here we have the Mega on my team, Scruff the Manectric. My strategy with her is, initially she had the static ability, which I didn't really care for that much because if, you have to take damage for it to come into effect. But I've given her the Lightning Rod ability instead, thanks to the ability capsule. So a good idea in a double battle is to start with Scruff and Gary, and if someone tries to hit Gary with a Thunderbolt, Scruff is going to draw that in, and going to boost her special attack stat. We also got Discharge for a nice attack, Signal Beam to deal with any grass types that Electric isn't very good against, and Charge to boost the special defense, while improving Discharge's attack next turn. And I also taught her Magnet Rise to get rid of her only weakness, which is ground. So for a limited number of turns, Magnet Rise allows her to be immune to ground attacks. So the idea with her is, on the first turn, use the Lightning Rod ability to perhaps protect Gary from any electric moves while he sets up a Dragon Dance, and then Scruff can use Magnet Rise. Then go Mega, get the Intimidate ability, which will lower the opponent's attack stats, and since Scruff will already be floating, Gary's free to start Earthquaking all he wants. And since I was rocking the Charizard hat and shirt today, I thought I'm going to bring Blaze for this one. And he's holding the Wise Glasses to boost all of his special attacks. And as you'll see, he has nothing but special attacks. We got the Heat Wave, Mud Slap, Solar Beam, and Sunny Day. Now, I do have the Charizard Y now, so I could Mega Evolve Blaze into Charizard Y, which gives him the Drought ability, which means he wouldn't need Sunny Day. So that's something I'm going to think of for future battles. But for right now, we're going to keep him as he is with the Wise Glasses. Now, Sprout is more of a stall tactic here. Toxic and Leech Seed are his two main focuses. Toxic, of course, poisons the opponent with increasing damage each turn, and Leech Seed drains HP and gives it back to Sprout. He's also holding Black Sludge for additional HP recovery, and Protect, so that he can take, once Leech Seed is set up, use the Protect, you're going to heal from Leech Seed plus the Black Sludge, get a full turn of nothing but recovery. Now, a lot of people like to teach their Venusaurs Grass-type moves, like, Frenzy Plant or Solar Beam, Energy Ball. I went with Sludge Bomb simply because if Sprout here is fighting something like another Grass Poison type, like Vileplume or Victory Bell, a Grass attack is going to be double resisted by the two types of the opponent. So by teaching him Sludge Bomb, he's at least going to be able to do some sort of damage to an opposing Poison and Grass type. Now, thanks to the Generation 5 introduction of Ferrothorn, poor Sprout can't do a single thing to Ferrothorn. Steel types being immune to Poison, Grass types being immune to Leech Seed. So, luckily we have Blaze on the team in case that happens. And the final member of the team is Machamp, who's here mostly just for physical brute force, holding the Muscle Band to improve all of his physical attacks, including Brick Break, Ice Punch to take out flying types, Payback for the dark types, and he also has Foresight because I've found a number of people sometimes will use evasive moves like Double Team and Minimize. Foresight will completely negate anything like that, but it also allows Ghost type to be hit by fighting and normal moves. So if we're fighting some sort of a Ghost type that has some immunity to Payback, then we can use Foresight and start hitting with the Brick Breaks. So if you were at all curious, you can take a look here at the EV spread for each of my Pokemon on the team. They're not probably the standard set that you might see. Maybe they are. I don't know. I don't really know what the standards are. I just go with what my Pokemon's natural potential is based on what the potential judge tells me about their stats and whatever nature they might happen to have. And I just kind of train them that way. So an opponent has been found from California. Empty. Alright, let's see what we got here. We're fighting against a Blastoise, a Vileplume, if my camera focuses, Kangaskhan, Raichu, Swoobat, and Politoed. I'm expecting the Kangaskhan to become the Mega of that team, because Mega Kangaskhan is so overpowered and used quite often. Now, a lot of people will look at their opponent's team and say, if they send in Raichu, I have to send in Marowak, and I have to use this attack. I don't really get that involved into it. Now, that's probably why I don't win all my matches. But I know my basic strategy is to start with my Gyarados and my Manectric, so we're going to go with that. Now we're also going to choose, we probably won't bring Marowak because I see 2, potentially 3 weaknesses if the Venomoth, that's it, has any grass moves. So let's go with a Pokemon that resists a number of these moves, and it'll be Venusaur. And the final Pokemon, I'm imagining the Politoed to be able to use the Drizzle. So I think if I bring my Charizard, I can use Sunny Day to counteract that. And that might be the best bet. Alright, let's give this a try. Now, something I love about the online battles is that you have the option to customize what song is playing during the background. And this is one of my favorite tracks from X and Y, the Versus Lysandre battle theme. Now, what they should have done is let you choose the battlefield you want to fight on, too, because they put you into this generic online Wi-Fi style battlefield like this. It'd be so cool to be able to fight them, on the ocean or in a forest or something. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So we're going to get the Intimidate off. I think I shall start by getting Gary up to speed with a Dragon Dance. I don't think there's anything they can do to him that's very damaging. And let's go with... We don't really need to use Magnet Rise right now because there's no ground attacks that I'm worried about. I'm going to start with a Charge. Now you'll see I'm not going Mega right away simply because... Alright, we got a skill swap going on. Let's see what they get. I guess we don't get to see the ability differences. Okay. So we have a Quiver Dance coming on the Venomoth here, which is a little bit worrisome. Alright, let's hope Gary can do something after the Dragon Dance here. He might be outsped by the Venomoth now thanks to Quiver Dance. So let's go with a Waterfall and hope for a flinch, perhaps. Now, I don't want to use Discharge, unfortunately, because I'll take out my own guy. Although, with the Focus Sash, I actually won't. Let's go for Discharge. And why not? Let's Mega Evolve and go for Discharge. Here we go. Mega Evolution, go Scruff! I really like using Skill Swap in battle. Like, none of my Pokemon actually have it on my main team, but it can really provide some really interesting, unexpected results in a battle. So we're going to get the Baton Pass off to somebody else here. Which means the speed, special attack, and special defense of the new Pokemon coming in is sharply raised. And it's Blastoise. Good thing we chose the Discharge. Now that's not going to do much. We have a skill swap, so now we're swapping abilities. So Swoobat will have Intimidate, and I've got Tinted Lens, which I think boosts the attack power of not very effective moves. So Gary's attack set is back down to neutral. Let's see what we get off of the Discharge. Well, we did take out both of the opponent Pokemon, and Gary hangs in there. Alright, that wasn't a bad turn of events. So I'm up 4-2 right now. Let's see what my opponent sends in next. We know the Venomoth is there. And the final Pokemon will be Politoed. Well, here comes the Drizzle, which means water attacks are going to be boosted. So given that, I'm going to go with a Waterfall to the Venomoth, and I'm going to try Signal Beam on Politoed. If Gary can go first, he should take that Venomoth out easily. Or, pretty darn close, thanks to the Focus Sash. So the Signal Beam comes off. Not a lot of damage. And we take a hit from the Sludge Bomb, and here comes the Scald. And down goes the Mega. But Gary is still in there. So I'm going to send in my Venusaur next. Because as long as the opponent doesn't have any sort of quick attack type moves, I'm going to be able to do something pretty good. We're going to throw an Earthquake off with Gary, while Sprout protects himself. And the opponent's just going to end the match there. Alright, so we didn't knock out all the opposing team, but we did get a victory. Way to go, team! Alright everybody, thanks for checking out this video, and remember, if you want to see any of my other Pokemon used in battle, so you can see what kind of strategies I came up with for them, leave me a comment down below, tell me who you want to see in a match, and I'll put them into a team, and we'll see what we can do for a possible victory. I actually recorded 3 battles in this session, and I lost the first 2, so I know it's like, I'm only showing you the one that I won, but when I lost the first 2, it wasn't exactly a shutout, sometimes it is, but the first match, I actually took down 2 of the opponent's Pokemon. The second match, I only got 1 of them down. But in this one, I got 2 down, then the match was forfeited. So, sometimes my strategies work out, sometimes they don't. I like to go with more unique, creative strategies. So, if you want to see any of those in action, like I say, comment down below what you want to see in battle, like which of my Pokemon, and I will do a recording of a battle for you. Alright, thanks again for checking out this video, and I'll catch you next time.